and welcome to the Purple Chair podcast, my Purple Queendom, and my unique little corner of the universe where I get to create magic every day. And I'm Laura Labuda, your scissor wizard, color alchemist, unicorn creatress, and lover of all things purple. I'm also the owner of the Purple Chair. It's a cozy little hair salon located in my favorite metaphysical store in Columbia, South Carolina. And I am so grateful that you are here for episode 8. And we're going to chat all about synchronicities today. So I don't know. I think I know. I'm not really sure. I feel like I say it all the time about, oh, you're always in the right place at the right time. And I have a friend that tells me it's not cliche to say it all the time, but I think it is, but it's really not. So you're always in the right place at the right time. What's the other one I always used? It always works out the way it's supposed to work out. Like, you know, it's kind of like telling a bride, oh yeah, it's okay if it rains on your wedding day. Like, it's good luck. Yeah, whatever. If you want to believe that, you go ahead and believe that, but it doesn't make for a fun day. You're always where you need to be when you need to be there. And this is something I think a lot about all the time. In fact, I was reading an article over the weekend about synchronicities, and let me find it. Taking a peeky peek. Living in synchronicity, the powerful of meaningful coincidence. And I don't know if you believe in coincidences or if you think it's a thing, but I don't believe, there are no coincidences. It all just works out the way it's supposed to work out. So like, what is a synchronicity or a coincidence, or what is it? So I was also reading that this concept was first introduced by Carl Jung, who is a psychologist. And if you don't know who he is, you should definitely look him up and his work. It holds events that are meaningful coincidences. So meaningful coincidences. I was thinking about this and I feel like I'm jumping around a little bit, but I'm a tornado, so what can I say? That meaning, where does the meaning come in all these coincidences? Well, you're the only one who understands the synchronicities that are happening to you. You're the only person that gets to put these meanings to the things. It comes from within. It comes from inside. And it's just so cool. So over the week, last week, I'm a belly dancer. And so I was in class and we're practicing our choreography. And we happened to wear our... some of us wore our costume, and I feel like a total badass in my costume. It's purple, duh, and it like wraps up, and we're all in there being sassy and dancing, and like, you know, it makes it more fun when you have your costume on. And so this one girl was like, hey, yeah, I could wear this for my other event that I'm doing in this place. And I'm like, oh, crazy. Do you know so-and-so who also does this thing that you do? Well, anyway, so the person that I mentioned is someone who I cut he frequently comes in and gets his hair cut, but doesn't make an appointment, just kind of shows up always on time and in the right time. It's kind of crazy to me that it just happens that way, but it just does. So I was working on a Saturday, this past Saturday, in fact, and I had mentioned him earlier in the week. He doesn't call, he doesn't text, he just shows up. He comes walking up the stairs, and I was like, what are you doing here? I put out a mental call, and he showed up. That is a synchronicity, and it just blows my mind. So here at the Purple Chair, we like to joke and call it the molecules lining up. Thank you, TJ, for giving me that, because I use it all the time. So we say the molecules line up. These are like these little winks from the universe that tell you you're in the right place. Or I have another customer who calls them God winks, and I think it's a really beautiful thing. So it's fascinating to see how it plays out during the day behind the chair. It's fascinating to see how it plays out behind the chair because on this particular day when we were talking about the molecules lining up, my first customer had just come back from the beach. And she was telling me about her beach vacation and how later on in the year she was going to plan an Alaskan cruise. And, I'm all about some Alaska. And so it was really fun to talk. I feel like I live vicariously through all of your adventures. And that's one of my favorite parts about being a hairdresser. So she came in, she's talking about coming back from the beach and how she's going to plan an Alaskan cruise. And then my next customer that came in is planning on going to the beach and then a cross-country trip, which I thought was really fascinating. Like, who just goes on a cross-country journey? There's not very many of us to get that opportunity. So she's talking about going on her cross-country adventure with her dog to go visit this place. And then my last customer is leaving that day to move to Alaska with her dog driving across country. It's just like, sometimes it's too much to handle. It's like crazy. Like they all just like bing, 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 bing. Or somebody's sitting in the hair salon and then I turn the chair around. This is when we were working in the same room. 2 customers sitting in the same room. Didn't realize that they knew each other. Turn them face in and they're like, "Oh my God, I haven't seen you in 15 years." And you're like, "Whoa, I didn't plan this. The universe planned this for me." It's crazy. I love this stuff. And I'm always fascinated by synchronicity stories. So if you have a story about synchronization or those little God winks that you have in your life, I want to hear about them because they're so amazing. So there are so many different types of synchronicities. And one is being in exactly the right place at the right time. Have you ever so you're going to get coffee with your friend and you wind up meeting a boss that has a position open and you perfectly fit the qualifications. I just think those are amazing. Don't you think those are amazing? Repeating numbers are types of synchronicities. My number is 333. So I've kind of dubbed that this is how I know I'm in the right place at the right time. So if I'm driving down the road and, I'm contemplating something in my mind and then all of a sudden a car drives in front of me and their license plate is 333, that's a huge flag for me to be like, okay, stop. Here I am. What was I just thinking about? Is it the right decision? It's just a little confirmation to know you're in the right place at the right time with the right people. Thinking about someone that you haven't seen or heard from in a long time, and then guess who's the next person that's going to call you? It's probably going to be them. We're all connected. So you can get this to happen more in your life, and it's like magic. I'm getting so magical. It's magic, but it's the universe. This is how things work. So the more you experience it and the more you lean into these synchronicity experiences or coincidences, the more they're going to start to happen to you. And I like to call that living in the flow. And when I do see that 333, I just acknowledge it. I stop for a moment and say, hey, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm doing. This is what I was thinking about, or this is who I'm with. And then I acknowledge that synchronicity or that event or the thing that happened. And then I'm really grateful for it. And you know what? It happens more and more. So how can you live in the flow more? Being more mindful can put you in that flow of coincidence. The book, The Power of Now. If you haven't looked this book up or read this book, I highly recommend it and suggest it. The Power of Now by Eckhart. Is it Tolle or Tolle? Eckhart Tolle. It's all about the present moment. And when you have that present moment awareness, then you are leaning into that coincidence and those synchronicities a little bit more, and you can become more aware of them. So I know there's a whole lot of talk about like, oh, be in the present moment, be mindful. Like, okay, I love that you're telling me that, but like, how in the heck am I supposed to do it? So the one thing that I really took away from this book was this, and I'm going to give you the opportunity to do it with me. So I want you to say to yourself, I wonder what my next thought is going to be. And you're going to pause. And you're going to hold off that next thought for as long as you can. And you are put right into that present moment. There's nothing more important than right now. Not what's coming next, not what's already happened, because what's already happened is gone. All right, done. What's coming up, you have no idea. So, I wonder what my next thought is going to be. Long pause. So, being mindful. I know. See, I guess I do that thing. I wonder what my next thought is going to be. Anyway. So, also, if you want more of these coincidences and synchronicities to happen to you, you need to be more open to it and be more receptive to it and show some gratitude in when you do see these things. So like, what is another one that has happened to me recently? Oh, so when I was coming up with the whole purple chair thing, and it was like in its baby stage, and I like didn't even have I had no furniture, and I started this business with like $300, and it just grew from there. And I knew in my mind exactly what I wanted, and I've already told you I'm super stubborn and I don't settle for anything less than what it is that I want. I had this vision of a vanity that was a wooden vanity with a round mirror. And that's what I wanted for my station. I've always wanted that. I think it's beautiful. I love it. I just love that style of like the 20s, 30s, 40s vintage looking vanity wood. And I told myself, that's it. I will not have anything but that. And I looked on the Facebook Marketplace. If you've ever tried to look them up, they're not cheap. And so only having this very teeny weeny little budget, I kept looking and I kept looking, and I knew that I had some time, and I just put it out there to the universe, and I said, you know what? I'm going to have it, and I'm not going to worry about it. But, you have to put in the work, so you have to kind of like find it. So it was Black Friday, and I was shopping. Of course, what else you do on Black Friday but go shopping? And I walked into a thrift store. Okay, you should definitely go to a thrift store on Black Friday. That's my advice to you. So I walked into this thrift store, and I just felt really led to be in there. And I walked in, and I walked right to the back, and would you believe it? That vanity was sitting there. The vanity of my dreams was sitting in the back of this thrift store. Okay, so it's Black Friday. They had a 20% off sale, and it was $100. So I got it for $80. Boom. Guess what? Living in the synchronicity coincidences, It was there. And I was like, this is insane. I was like, thank you, universe, and all the things that are amazing for sending this my way. And from that moment, I have trusted that I will have what I need when I need it. Which brings me to my next how to live in the flow is trust your gut, trust your intuition. If you feel like something is like, ooh, not right, you shouldn't be there, well, honor yourself and honor that and get out of it. Because the more you start to trust yourself, the more the synchronicities are going to happen. It's all connected. It's all wrapped up into one. And I mean, I don't go around just hoping these things are going to happen. Like, I put it out there that this vanity was going to happen. And if you sat in my chair, it's my vanity that I use all the time because I love it. It's so cool. It's the one with the round mirror. I ask all the time for the things to happen that I want to happen. It's manifestation. It's the law of attraction. And I am like the biggest supporter, law of attraction practitioner. I don't even know what you want to call it, but I utilize it all the time. So if you've ever heard of The Secret, that's like, what is it, 1991, something or other ish. So I was going to talk a little bit about the law of attraction also. And the law of attraction is the ability to attract into our lives whatever you're focusing on. So if you are focusing on, you're driving to work and you're like, I'm late. I'm going to hit every red light. I don't want to hit the red lights. I do not want to do this. I don't want to hit the red lights. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to hit every single red light on your way to work because that's just how it's going to be. So when you're utilizing the law of attraction, you want to truly know what you want. Focus on the gratitude and positive self-talk. There is a way to flip around every single thing into a positive affirmation. It's taken me a lot of work. I'm not going to say this happened overnight. It's happened over the course of, I don't know, how old am I? Years. To be able to take the negative and turn it into a positive. You want to be intentional with your communication. So knowing what you want and being very intentional about right down to the little details. And then you hold that visualization in your mind. And if you're not a visual thinker, some people are not visual thinkers, you can print out a picture of it. Put it on your mirror. Put it somewhere where you can see it every day. And then holding yourself accountable for the things that you are, your goals. It's like a goal meeting your goals. Yeah, so it's basically like goal setting and shifting your perspective. So applying all of that to my vanity story is that I knew exactly what I wanted, right down to the round mirror. Like, I was very detailed in like the size, how big I wanted it. I wanted it to have a flat, all the way flat top. You know how some of them have like a side on one side and a side, and then it dips down in the middle. I wanted it to be completely flat on the top. I wanted it to have drawers. I wanted it to have a space. Like, it's exactly what I wanted. And I just basically was grateful for already having it before I even had it. So I just trusted that it would show up in a timely manner. Now, let me tell you, the other part of that is that timing. Ooh, I'm going to pause for the cause and take a breath. Time is a very fascinating thing because when you're in that present moment and you say, wonder what my next thought will be, and you push it off, it could be seconds, it could be minutes, but it could feel like an eternity. So like when I'm shampooing somebody, okay, shampoo out I did their highlights, I'm shampooing out their highlights. I go to put their toner on and I use one of the toners that I like to use is a rapid toner, and it takes 5 minutes to process. That 5 minutes seems like a lifetime because I can't do anything except for stand there. I have no time to like start another project or go over here. I could clean something really fast, but if I get into something else, anyways, my point is that time is a very fascinating thing. And most of the time, the things happen when you need them, not necessarily when you want them to happen. And I think it would be so much more less stress in my life if the universe could just provide to me when I wanted it, not when I needed it. Food for thought. So I have utilized the law of attraction and following those coincidences and those synchronicities in my whole business career and building my shop. You move toward what you focus on, and I continually focus on building my business and trusting that the right people will show up. Just today, I had a brand new customer that I've never met, and she just happened to pop in at the right time, and it was like meeting my new best friend. Seriously. I have always trusted that the right people will show up when I need them. And I know it's really like the hardest part is that trusting part, but the more you do it, I don't want to say it's going to become easier, but the more you do it, the better you get at trusting. So holding that visualization can also be an affirmation. And a lot of this comes from the Paul Mitchell, my time at Paul Mitchell. Even as a student, we talked a lot about affirmations and what you move toward what you focus on. They're the 3 laws of the mind. So the 3 laws of the mind are: you move toward what you focus on. You can only focus on one thing at a time. And you can't avoid a don't. So that don't get stuck at a red light. Don't think about a pink elephant. What you thinking about? Guarantee you're thinking about a pink elephant. It's how it goes. And you move toward what you focus on. So if you're focusing on the negative aspects of life, then guess what? You're probably manifesting the negative things in life. If you're focusing on the positive aspects of life, it's going to make your day so much better. So if you start your day out, I'm going to use this example from a friend of mine. You start your day out, you wake up, you're like, today is going to be awesome and amazing. It's the best day ever. And then you get up and you stub your toe and you're like, oh crap, well I stubbed my toe. Okay, but today's still going to be awesome because you woke up with a mindset and you've already made that decision that your day is going to be awesome. Now, on the flip side, if you wake up and you're like, oh, everything is so crappy. It's going to be a horrible day. Oh, it's raining outside. Everything sucks. And then you stub your toe and you're like, oh, this is horrible. Blah, blah. I can't even go there with that because it doesn't work for me. Which person would you rather be around? I'm going to make best friends with that first one. So you can only focus on one thing at a time, which is a hard freaking pill for me to swallow because I think I'm the queen of multitasking, but I can literally only do one thing at a time. If I'm doing a foil, then I have to be all in and doing that foil. If I'm doing a haircut, I have to be all in and doing that haircut. I can't think about what's coming up next. And I always say that I'm like a live in the moment kind of girl. My poor mom, she's like, what are you doing this weekend? I'm like, I don't even know what day it is. I know what's going on right now. Like, we meet for coffee every Friday and every Thursday, never, without fail. She goes, are you meeting for coffee tomorrow? And I'm like, I don't even know if I'm going to wake up tomorrow. Like, we'll get there when we get there. I got things to do right now. So, you can only focus on one thing at a time. And the switching from the negative to the positive is a 10% shift. So if you start out your course heading this way and you just move your path a little bit this way, you can wind up in a whole new destination. So it's just a very, very small change. You can't eat an elephant all in one bite. It doesn't work. Today's all about elephants and tornadoes. Oh, okay. Okay. So, you can start to incorporate these synchronicities into your life right now. Be mindful, be open, be receptive, be trusting, trust your gut, and ask to see those things. Pick a favorite number. When you see it, then you realize you're in the right place, and you're like, boom, here I am. There you go, synchronicity. It was that easy. And if you have a story, leave me a comment with your story because I want to hear about them. They're amazing. You guys are amazing people with amazing stories. So I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me today and letting me ramble on about all the synchronicities and law of attraction and all the things I love that are magical because it's amazing. But next episode, we're going to chat all things curly girl. Do you have curly hair? Have you had a terrible haircut? Ooh, curly girls, whole new breed. So we're going to talk a little bit about the struggles and we're going to dispel some myths and rumors all about curly hair. So if you could please like, share, subscribe, and check me out and the Purple Chair out on Facebook and Instagram and our website, thepurplechairsalon.com. And thank you so much for being so amazing. I hope you have the best day ever. Bye.